Welcome back to J Hart Model Works. I hope everyone is staying safe and doing well. I finally finished my special project. A video of it has been shot. That video is being edited. However, with everything going on, I have been unable to give it to the intended recipient, so that remains on the back burner for now. I was already self-quarantining before all this coronavirus stuff hit. I have bad seasonal allergies, and they start right about the time the early rains start, like right around the beginning of spring. The wind and rain knock the pollen from the trees here in North Texas, and that kills my allergies, which in turn creates a sinus infection from the drainage, which basically nobody wants. So I had already been talking to my boss and had been working from home since the first week of March, maybe the end of February, to not bring anything into the office and get anyone sick. So I've been stuck at home for like a month now already. I hadn't planned on having a project until the Hasegawa release for the new re-release of the Lamborghini Miura, but that isn't coming out until the end of April. Stay tuned for the unboxing on that when I get it. But I have been going crazy for a project, and I talked to my financial planner / account manager / my wife and got approved to go buy this. This is the 1/24th scale Ford GT from Tamiya, and by approved to go buy, let me go ahead and say that I bought it from Amazon. I didn't go out anywhere. So without further delay, let's get this open and see what's in the box. Alright, let's get this box off. First, let's go ahead and look at the box. The artwork, as is typical for Tamiya, is gorgeous. There's a look at the different color options that came from the factory. We've got a liquid blue, liquid red, frozen white. Some more artwork here, which you can't really see. There's just so much I can do here. There's the shadow black. Some discussion about the car itself. And another end shot of that there. Sorry, just the way I have my camera mounted, it kind of doesn't really give me a lot of room. Off. We have the body, which is stapled to the box. I'll go through these and unpackage these in a bit. We have our wheels. It's kind of a satin chrome sprue. Tires and polycaps. Clear parts are in a separate bag. We have our white sprue, which is also in a separate bag. Looks like everything has its own bag. There's the gray sprue. And the black sprue. Important information concerning this kit. I'm going to read the instructions carefully. Care should be taken when using tools. Yep. Plastic parts can have sharp pointed edges. Keep out of the reach of children under 36 months. So your 3-year-old, according to Tamiya, can build kits. Metal parts or motor and battery terminals, if included, could have sharp points, which this doesn't have any of that. Grease or lubricant, if supplied in this kit, must not be inhaled or taken internally. There is none, but if there were, don't eat the grease. And for European customers, keep this because there's some documentation, blah blah blah. That's fodder for the trash. Decals. and masks. Sheet with some background information on the car itself. And the instruction book. So I'm going to go and unbag this stuff and we will get a closer look. Okay, first off we have our body, molded in white. This is really nice, makes it easier to paint if you want to paint a different color, unlike a lot of companies that do kits in like bright red or orange or yellow. Revell. Panel lines are there. I may have to rescribe them a bit. They look like they could be a little shallow, could fill up with clear coat or paint and get lost, especially back here on these like door handles and this fuel tank. But at the same time, the plastic seems a little thin. Like I can see my finger back through behind it. You can't on the camera though. Got some copyright markings in here from Tamiya. You may want to sand that out. So you've got 4 ejector pin marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have some in here as well, but these aren't going to possibly be visible. That roof could be. Got these triangle cutouts, and there's mesh that goes in here. And the way Tamiya does it is you've got clear parts, and then you've got a mesh decal that goes over the clear part, and I'm not a fan of that. It leaves a shiny surface in where there shouldn't be any surface, and it doesn't look very realistic to me. So that's something I will probably be using the Hobby Design detail upset for some photo etch mesh. Mold lines. We've got a mold seam that runs right across here. You can't really see it, but it doesn't quite follow that body line. It follows it and then it just curves down just a little bit. Let's see if I can catch that. Not really. I've got a panel line here. It's not a mold seam, it's just a natural panel line. It also looks a little shallow. Bad thing I did note, let's see if we can get a better shot of this. Right here on the back, it's kind of a matter of angling the light properly. Let's see if we can get it. There you go, right there. There's a sink on both sides. That is going to need to be filled. I am not great with filling in putty work. I tend to use Tamiya putty. However, being a lacquer-based putty, it shrinks sometimes. Also, I sometimes have a hard time getting it to sand real smooth. If you guys have any suggestions, if y'all are using something better, let me know. That's our body. Then have our white sprue. A lot of this is body parts. So you have your front clip. Looks pretty clean. There might be a mold seam here. Might want to clean that up. Might just be where the plastic melted together in the mold, where 2 sides of plastic meet. I'm not certain. Just keep an eye on it. I'll clean it up. Mirrors. There's 2-part mirrors. So you've got these parts that are the top, and then the bottom is going to glue in right here. It's kind of nice, makes it easier to paint. These, I believe, go to the front. I believe, if I'm correct, that these glue in like this and make the air vents on that front. We've got our door panels, look nice and clean. More body panels, again with these notches. Interior tub is nice. Lots of nice button detail. These appear to be the door cards, which don't look like they've got a lot of detail in them, but I think there may be some extra parts. These are some inserts that glue into the seat. Rear spoilers in 2 parts. It's interesting. That's the white sprue. We have our gray sprue. Suspension parts. There's the engine. The engine on this kit is very simplistic. A lot of detail. It's very nicely detailed. But it's literally, the engine is this part, this part, this part here. This looks like some kind of exhaust, and 1 chrome piece. See what we can't do to detail out the engine bay. Suspension braces. These are the vents that go into this side here. These are those side vents. Another reason why I'm probably going to use the Hobby Design Detail Up Kit. This is your vents for your front. Brakes are fairly well detailed. Again, the Hobby Design kit's going to come with some metal rotors. Lots of steering wheel detail. Nice detail here on the shift paddles. Of our seats. Pedals. I believe those are your exhaust pipes. Steering column. These are your headlight assemblies. This part glues onto this part, and then that part glues into that part some way, I believe. So there's like 3 parts to each headlight plus the lens. That's interesting. Wheel uprights. All very clean, no flash at all, as expected from Tamiya. Moving on to our black sprue. We've got the back for our windshield. We've got our body panel, our under tray. I know these 4 pieces go to the sides. I believe I'm going to do carbon fiber decals for those if I still have some. Dashboard is in 3 pieces, which is very well detailed. Actually, dashboard's in 4 pieces because I think there's a panel on the white for the dash as well. Parts of frames for the headlights. Those gray headlight assemblies get glued in here, and then these get glued underneath the body. Wipers, lower front grille, and the upper front grille. Using the detail up set, I suspect I'm going to have to cut these out and replace them with the photo etch mesh. These are your tail light surrounds. There's a clear part that goes here on the insides of these. Oh, very nice, very crisp, clean detail. These are the undersides for the mirrors. The chrome sprue is more of a satin chrome. The wheels are really clean. Thinking about maybe doing them in a gold, but looking at these, I may leave these in the satin chrome. Just put in a nice panel wash in there, get those details. That looks really clean. These are basically the hubs. They go in the centers of the wheel, and you put your decals on there. So you can actually put your decals on and clear them, and then glue them in place. That'll be nice and clean. And this is that part, the chrome part for the engine that I was talking about. That is going to sit right there. Alright, we've got our clear sprue. This is nice and clean. Doesn't look to be any defects on the windshield. There's a line in there where the plastic went in. And I think that goes all the way through. No, it's a shame. Side indicators. These are the taillight inserts, which you're only supposed to paint the outside edges of. These are those clear parts I was talking about that you're supposed to put the mesh decal on. And like I said, you put your mesh decal on, but you've still got that shiny clear surface that's going to reflect when you look at it. And I just think it just doesn't look right to me. These parts go into your headlights. So that makes the black frame 4, 6, 7 parts, including that headlight assembly is going to be complex. Side windows. You've got this large piece that extends from the side windows, makes it much easier to glue in place. So you don't have to get any glue anywhere near the side windows themselves. All in all, very nice. Got tires and polycaps. Gonna leave those in there so we don't lose them. Tires are very nicely detailed. There is not a center seam in them at all. There's no side lettering, but tread-wise they look really nice. Fronts are thinner than the backs. They're supposed to be the same size wheel. They're supposed to be 20s, and I think they are on the inside. I think the inside diameter is the same, but the outer diameter, the rears are slightly larger. We have our stripes, which I will most likely paint these. If I do stripes on the car, I'm probably going to paint them. I'm thinking some Tamiya sparkling silver. I'm not a huge fan of decals, but I may use them. I may. Because the way these decals are set, both sides are one decal. So you just cut this one decal, you have both sides and you don't have to worry about lining them up against each other. Get some metal transfers for the mirrors. That's a nice touch. Have our decal sheet. So you've got your mesh decals. These go on the headlights. Not sure what those are for. Brembo brake logos. Wheel hubs. Powered by Ford logos go on the engine. Not sure what these say. Let's try and zoom this and see if we can't get EcoBoost. That probably goes on the engine somewhere, who knows. Some GT logos, dashboard, more GT logos. Ford Performance for your license plate. Not bad, not bad at all. Get some masks. Are they cut? Nice, these are pre-cut. So those are some pre-cut masks for your windshield, side windows, rear glass. And finally we have our instruction book. You can fold that book form. So the paint callouts they're suggesting are blue mica for the body, gloss black, red, chrome silver, which is sparkling silver if you're using the lacquer paints, semi-gloss black, clear orange, clear red, titanium silver, flat black, flat white, some flat aluminum, and metallic gray. Page 1 starts off with body assembly. That's really nice. A lot of kits start out with the engine or the chassis. And most model builders, at least most of the ones I know, start out with the body. So it is nice to know that you can glue all of this together before you paint. It's another nice thing about starting with the body. Gluing on the rear. I would hold off on the taillights until after you have your body painted. Attaching the sides. Now this is going to be interesting because these side panels and just the shape for this car, you've got to get paint underneath here. I've seen people spray this kit with the side panels on, and I think I read somewhere that someone tried doing them with the panels off and they don't quite sit right if you paint them with the panels off. Like the tolerances are really tight. That's going to be interesting to mask because you're going to want to paint the gloss black on these A-pillars. Gluing in those clear mesh vents. Gluing on the front. Interesting. I thought you cut that front tab off. I thought that was just an extra tab. Apparently you don't. Apparently you glue that in place. Maybe it provides more support. Sides. Now they say that anything that's doesn't have a paint call out is body color. But my understanding is that these side panels are actually supposed to be black. I think they're supposed to be carbon fiber, in fact. So I'm going to do some research on that. This is that headlight assembly I was talking about. So you've got these three pieces that go together. Then you've got clear parts that go in. And then you've got 2 more black parts that go to each one of those black frames. Then this assembly from over here gets glued inside that frame. That's very, very complex for a headlight. They look cool though. Getting your headlights in. So you glue your glass in place first, then glue your headlights in underneath it. Exhaust, some more body work. Side indicators, exhaust pipe, exhaust tips, right here, red chassis frame, masking and painting the windows, windshield wipers, mirrors, gluing your glass in place. Rear spoiler, and this is nice. Your windshield, the rear windshield, just snaps into that frame. You don't have to glue it, so you don't have to worry about getting glue on there. You do, however, have a clear part that goes into that frame. That's going to be interesting to glue that in and get that painted and not look horrible. Starting on your suspension. More suspension and brakes. Front suspension with your oscillating front wheels. Rear brakes and rear suspension. Chassis assembly. These show to be painted in gloss black. I'm gonna look into that. I think those are actually carbon fiber on the rail car. Gluing your suspension to the chassis. Interior. More interior and seat assembly. Final assembly of the interior, getting that glued into the chassis. That's your engine assembly. Pretty much the entirety of the engine assembly right there. And then decals and markings. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the unboxing and review for the Ford GT 1/24 scale by Tamiya. Color. When I originally added this kit to the list of kits that I wanted to build, I originally wanted to do a replica of Shmi 150's Ford GT, which is the liquid red with the Allen Man gold stripes. I do believe that is a gorgeous car. That being said, in order to do that, I would have to order paints. If I order zero paints, I would have to order from Hobbytown USA, and they would have to order from Zero. My understanding is that Zero has closed entirely. So I'm looking at least April, if not May, before I get any paint out of Zero Paints, and I'm not waiting that long. I want to build, and I want to build now. I could maybe order some paints from Gravity Colors. I think Gravity in Spain has the colors, the red, but at the same time I'm still waiting on shipping from Spain, which is probably looking about a week, and I just want to build. So what I'm going to do, what I think will be a gorgeous color combination, is I still have a half a bottle of this Zero Paints Purple Pearl from McLaren. This is a color that I used on my 570S from Revell. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous metallic pearl purple. I still have at least a half a bottle of this left, and I believe I'm going to do this with the silver stripes, maybe gold. I'm thinking maybe gold stripes with gold wheels, but I think that may be just a bit too much with the purple. Let me know what you think, gold or silver stripes. And I know what some of you are going to say. Justin, I've looked at the configurator and purple is not a color for the Ford GT, and you are correct. Purple is not a color in the configurator for the Ford GT. However, Ford has an option where for an extra, just a measly $30,000, Ford will paint the car any color you want, which I believe is how Schmid got the car in the colors that he's got it in. I could be wrong, maybe he worked something out with Ford, but I do know that there was an option. It was a $30,000 option for custom paint. Also with these wheels, I'm probably going to leave them in satin silver. That is gorgeous, especially if I do the silver stripes. Brake calipers. Here's one I really don't know what to do. I think the red might look good. I think yellow might look good. I don't really want to do black. I think silver will get lost, especially if I do the hobby design brake rotors and the silver wheels. Silver's just not going to happen. So I'm thinking red, maybe yellow, or maybe a purple. Again, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think on brake calipers. Interior wise, all these cars are black. Some of them have white on the inserts for the seats and on the dashboard. Some of them have an orange, and I don't like that at all. I don't do black interiors, and there's two reasons why. In Texas, in the real world, a black interior is ridiculously hot. My current car has a black interior. It's very hot on the inside. If I were to buy a car of this magnitude, I would hopefully have the money to take that car and then have the interior completely redone in some color other than black. From a modeling perspective, and this is the real reason why I don't do black interiors. Every now and then I'll do them, but for the most part I just avoid black interiors. Black doesn't reflect light. And from a model perspective, you're looking at very tiny details. You put a ton of detail work into an interior. Most of it's black. There's very little light getting into the car from the windows. And so you lose all that detail. You just don't see it. All you see is a blob of black on the inside. If you're doing a lighter interior like a tan or a white or even a gray, you've got some light bouncing around inside the car and you get a lot more detail. So I think I'm going to do like I did with the McLaren. I did a dark gray with some purple highlights and it came out really well. I may not do the dark gray. I have some splash upholstery gray, which is a very light gray, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do the light gray with maybe some dark purple accents or light gray with light purple accents, or do I want to do a dark gray like maybe a German gray with some purple. Looking at my paint drawer, I've got easily 3, maybe 5 different acrylic purples that I can use. So that's going to be probably what I'm going to do is going to be a dark gray with a purple. Again, let me know what you think in the comments, interior wise. So that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed this unboxing, give me a like, leave me some feedback. I do try to respond to all the feedback that I can. I love hearing from you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please feel free to click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can see when I do update videos. I am going to do updates on this. I'm probably not going to do a full build video. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Also, I record using my phone right now. I don't have a fancy camera, so storage is kind of limited. And by a full video, what I mean is something along the lines of like Tom from the Scale Modeling channel, where he does the full-on, you see all the steps, or I think Paul's done several like build the long videos. I just don't think I'm there yet YouTube wise, but I will do updates periodically, show you where I am with it, and stay tuned. Once again, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day.